Growing up, I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher. My family is full of teachers, my mom, my aunts. So I'd always known this was what I wanted to do. I went to the University of South Carolina and I got my bachelor's degree in history, and then I went and got my master's in secondary education. And shortly after I graduated, I was offered a job at Wright. So this is my 7th year at Wright Middle School. It is the only school that I've ever taught at. I think a lot of times history does repeat itself. And it is important to learn that, but also there are a lot of lessons that can be learned on how you should act, how you should treat others. Like a lot of good lessons you can learn about what you should do in history.
So England has a war. It is called the English Civil War. And a civil war is when you are at war with your own country.
Sometimes in classes I will have kids who will tell me, well, I've heard of this, but I never really understood it. So that's nice to hear that I'm able to offer like a new perspective on something and give them a little more. Right at the start of COVID, I signed up to be a South Carolina Teacher Fellow for the Council on the Holocaust. We would meet virtually every month. We would have readings, we would have assignments that we would have to do, things we wanted to implement in the classroom that we would have to then report back on. We had lesson plans, unit plans we were supposed to create, and one of the goals that the council had was to eventually use these resources and put on their website so other teachers across the state could access them.
Yes, our organization has existed since 1989 actually in the state, and our main goal is to promote Holocaust education throughout the state. But we also do commemorative activities in honor of both those who survived the Holocaust as well as the victims. But when we think about the Holocaust, we also are trying to really imbue this idea of what is the human condition. And most importantly, we want students to understand, the greatness of humanity in terms of both the positives, but also the depths that humanity can go towards the negatives. And so learning the lessons of the Holocaust is very paramount, in our opinion, to understand how we as human beings operate within the world, how we interact with each other, both in terms of individuals, but also as a community.
I think it's really important to try and bring in those stories that you might not have heard much about, because the kids, at least my students, they know the basics of the Holocaust. They know what it was. They know who was involved, the major players. But I really want to delve deeper than just that surface level knowledge.
Alli obviously is a fantastic teacher here in Richland too. She's one of only 8 people, teachers across the state, who was a member of our first cohort of the fellowship. And she's obviously a great representative of the district, but also a great representative of Wright Middle School. What made her stand out was her passion. Clearly it was evident both in terms of the application which she wrote, but also in terms of interactions that we've had with her. She was very passionate about the history of the Holocaust and about teaching the lessons of the Holocaust to students, and beyond simply the lessons of the history of the Holocaust, but also how that history can really impact how we understand the present.
So the lesson plans and things that I've created with them, I've definitely brought into my classroom. I have incorporated book studies. I've had to create presentations that I can use in my classroom. I've had to create project ideas and rubrics that I can bring back to my classroom that I can share with other people. So I've definitely used those in my classes since then, and I've shared them with other teachers as well who I know have used them as well.
She's always been one who's at the forefront of wanting to know more and wanting to increase her understanding of the Holocaust and also learn how to actually teach it better for her students.
I was incredibly grateful that I was able to go through this experience. I've met so many amazing people, so many great teachers, and I feel like I've just got a community that is going to support me for the rest of my time teaching. The South Carolina Council on the Holocaust is so supportive. They are so great. They are willing to help out in any way they can. And I'm so glad that I have that support and those people who I know they're going to look out for me and they're going to help me with whatever I need.